Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer, and for this week's discussion board, we're going to talk about just knowledge and experience that we have about burnout, self care, and like compassion fatigue, that sort of thing. So, the first question just is asking about signs of burnout and have we encountered any staff or administrators at our current field agency demonstrating any of the signs of burnout? Since we're still in like the first week of this semester, I'm reflecting back on last semester, and I can recall attending a meeting with my field supervisor about just like a change in staffing. I currently intern for the VA, and I work or intern under a social worker in the HUD-VASH department. So they have HUD-VASH in each three counties, Kent, Sussex, and Newcastle County. And the HUD-VASH program helps to house homeless veterans with a housing voucher. So last semester, there were some staffing changes in Newcastle County. They were down 2 social workers. So that meant that social workers in Kent and Sussex County had to pick up some of the caseload in Newcastle County. However, the HUD-VASH social workers for Kent and Sussex County, they share both counties. So they already are serving Kent and Sussex County it's only 3 social workers who assist homeless veterans in Kent and Sussex County. So while I was at this meeting, my field supervisor was given another additional caseload to manage veterans in Newcastle County. And just from observing him in the meeting, he responded very like emotionally. He was very like short with his responses. He even got up and started walking around. Like you could just tell that he was agitated. Because prior to that change in staffing, the staff and social workers were already like stretched thin with the expectation of the care that they need to provide to each veteran they serve. Because in not including trying to house veterans, they also do like clinical work with veterans as well. So I did witness that with him. Afterwards, we did sit down and we did talk about it. He was able to acknowledge that, he was pretty short on his responses and that he may have not have been responding in like such a professional way. So he wanted to make sure that we sat down and talked about that, about what that looked like, and then just, talk about his self-care, my self-care as an intern, that sort of thing. As it relates to my field agency having policies or practices in place to reduce burnout, the one that stands out the most to me when I began interning last August, I was not necessarily in the habit of taking a lunch break. I had gotten into a really bad routine where I would kind of just like sit at my desk, eat a sandwich, continue working, that sort of thing. So when I started interning for the VA, it was brought to my attention that you have to take a lunch break. My field supervisor was very supportive in saying that, no matter how busy we are, whether we're in the field or interning from home, that I need to take 30 minutes for myself to rest, regroup, recharge, and to make sure I'm eating because, like I said, I would have a very bad habit of kind of just keep going and going and going and not necessarily stopping to eat, to drink, use the bathroom, that sort of thing. So that is what stands out the most to me for just those self-care policies, because I've worked at previous places where getting your lunch break was not a priority. So it was kind of refreshing to see that this was encouraged. It's something so basic and simple. However, like I said, in previous employers, I didn't always have that option. Um, strategies for navigating difficult issues and situation in practice. When I think back on last semester, I definitely experienced burnout. I was definitely emotional around the end of the semester, probably November, mid-November. I just felt like I had nothing left to give. My responses were very short. I was very short on patience, and I just felt like I knew that, I had to do, stuff for clients and veterans. However, the mood that I was in, I was just like, well, if we get it done, we'll get it done. If not, we'll come to it next time. So I didn't necessarily pick that up. However, my field supervisor did. So we sat down and talked about, what's realistic for an intern to be experiencing? How can I take care of myself? He was very supportive in helping me come up with a plan, and, just talking about it, because it wasn't very easy to talk about, because as a student, for me, I didn't really want to show that, it was something difficult to manage. I was just like, oh, that'll be all right. We'll be able to work through it. And we had some pretty difficult conversations where my field supervisor was like, I remember he told me, he said, you don't have to stand in front of every moving train, basically, because I would just want to take on everything and try to help work it out. And he, really had to hone in on that. I don't have to, come up with a solution for everything. It's okay to work it out together as a team and collaborate. So that was what I recall from last semester, just, those difficult issues of wanting to kind of do everything, but recognizing that, you're still human, you're only a student, it's okay to be where you're at. Self-care plan for this semester and after graduation. I think the biggest thing for this semester that I didn't necessarily try to do last semester is just to ensure I get adequate amount of hours of sleep each night. I know that sounds pretty simple. However, I would be up many of the nights till midnight, 1 o'clock. Then I'd be waking up by 5:30, to get my children to school, out the door to internship, then work. I didn't realize how grueling that pace was until we went on winter break. And now I kind of am anxious about getting back into it again. So that's going to be the biggest thing for me, to not try to overwhelm myself, and just to make sure I'm doing the basics for myself, getting enough sleep, taking my vitamins, eating right, and just being mindful in the moment. I have a bad habit of trying to think too far ahead, and that can be very overwhelming. So one of the things that I want to do now and even after graduation is just remain in the moment. What is going on right now? What needs my attention right now? What can wait, so I can take a break and relax and be present with my family, or even my clients, and clients at my internship and at work.